Yeah. Okay. Disrespectful. And okay. Winner one hell of a kid. Smoking gas, just winner. What you doing out of dick? Slick talker since a jet. Winner talk all the time. Ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move. Swag. Disrespectful.
Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing what if Naruto was Hisoka's son, part 3. This is the longest what if I've done, and shout out to all 6 of my subscribers, because I now have 6 subscribers, and thanks. So basically, we left off at the Chunin exams. The competitors are Neji. If I said that he was eliminated, so I'm going to change up some things. So yeah, I'm just telling you that. Neji, Rock Lee. No. Gara. Neji, Gara. Told you I'm changing up some things. And Omoi, Uchiha. Sakura. Naruto. Sasuke. And those are just the main fights that I'm going to be getting into. And Shino and all the others. So basically, the first match is Naruto versus Gara. Gara says, "It's time already. I'm gonna sweep the floor with him. Well, he is a worthy opponent. So let's fight." Gara then teleports, and Naruto teleports. He then says, "Are you ready to get whooped, Gara?" Gara just scuffs at the sight of seeing Naruto. Instead of Gara just staying and sitting in the background, he engraves himself in sand, and he says, "Now it's time to show you what I'm capable of." Naruto hears this, thinking that he knows what Gara's gonna do. He then says, "Summoning Jutsu." 3 ginormous cards come out of nowhere. He then casts hand signs. As 2 water dragons come. 1 water dragon is red. Fire rushes down at the sand. Then the other water dragon is blue. It comes and it softens the sand. Then Naruto says, "Wow, I can only summon that much. Well, summoning jutsu!" He then summons lightning. A lightning bolt comes through the card and shocks Gara's sand. Gara's sand then turns to glass. This gave Gara enough time to transform. Gara then throws Shikaku's sand. And then he says, "It's too late." The Jonin and everyone else are saying, "No, we need to go down there." When Hisoka then says to all of the Jonin, "Stay in your places. This boy named Gara, if he lets Naruto's true power come out, he will die." What? Yes, but just watch. Naruto then says, "Summoning Jutsu, Leon!" He then summons the great lion Leon. And then he says, "I don't know if he's going to want me to summon him, but it's worth a try." He then bites his finger, and then he says, "Summoning Jutsu, Hercules!" He then summons a giant man who looks like a caveman. He then says, "Boy, why did you summon me?" Hey. Oh, and I don't know if summonings are allowed, but I'm just gonna allow it since it's a what if. "Why did you summon me?" We just need to take out him. Okay. Hercules then says, creating sound friction through the air. Gara, seeing the sound, puts his Shikaku hand over, and then he says, "You'll have to do better than that." And then Hercules then says, "Okay, I'm out of here." The lion, Leon, says, "Hey, Naruto, what do you want me to do?" "I need you to shrink about the size of a building." No, he's already the size of a building. I need you to shrink about the size of those two cards. He shrinks the size of the two cards. Then he rushes after Gar. Gar tries to use a sand coffin, which traps him for a second, but then Leon grabs Gar, and then says, "You." What do I do with him? He starts to crush Gar, though. He then, sorry if my what if skills might sound way off, but then he says, "Give him to me." Naruto then rushes at him, and he stabs Gar in the arm. Then he kicks Gar in the back of his head and says, "Now it's time to try out my own jutsu, water style. Water dragon manipulation." He then creates a water dragon. The water dragon is surrounding him. He then says, "Water dragon prime." Then the water dragon then comes on him. And then he says, "It's time to go crazy." Two swords that look like dragons come out of it's like chakra, but it's water surrounding him. Two swords then come out as he rushes over at Gaara, chopping the sand off of him. Then he's pummeling Gaara, stabbing Gaara. He cuts off Gaara's arm, and then he places a seal on Gaara. "What did you do to me?" "I know how it feels when you're alone." And then he gives Gaara his speech. We now move on to our next fight, which is, it's now Omoi Uchiha versus Sasuke Uchiha. The crowd yells, "Ah!" as Sasuke and Omoi come down. This is now named the Battle of the Two Uchihas. They rush at each other. And then Omoi punches Sasuke in the face. Hisoka then yells, "Omoi, full power!" Omoi then activates his 3 Tomoe, while Sasuke activates his 3 Tomoe, matured 3 Tomoe. He's fighting Omoi. He gets kicked back. Omoi puts him in a genjutsu. But this was his mistake. When he put Sasuke in a genjutsu, it showed his parents dying. Sasuke went crazy. Then he says, "Oh, you're dead," while activating the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke is going to be an outlet prodigy. All of a sudden, half of a Susanoo comes out of nowhere. It is surrounding Sasuke. The Uchiha members see this. They say, "This child is the true Uchiha. He might even surpass Madara." He then says, "Sound shock!" He pummels Sound over at Omoi. Omoi says, "Wait, that's the Mangekyo Sharingan." Omoi then disperses into doves. The doves rush at Sasuke, but Sasuke chops all the doves. He sees his power. Then he's like, "I know what to do." He then throws his sword, and he tries to chop Omoi in half. But Omoi then uses another genjutsu. He rushes at Sasuke, tries to kick the Susanoo with his chakra. It does not work. But then Omoi says, "Maybe this will work." Style. Fireball jutsu. He then throws a fireball jutsu at Sasuke. When he sees that it doesn't work, he says, "This might take a lot of chakra, but fire style, majestic destroyer flame." He then pulls it at Sasuke. Some of Sasuke's Susanoo was destroyed because Omoi used 85% of his chakra. Then Omoi said, "Guess it's time to use it." He rushes at Sasuke. Then he says, "You're gonna die!" And then the Uchiha members hearing this they say, "Well, Omoi is a descendant of Kagami Uchiha." This shocks the crowd. They say, "What? Omoi?" Then, all of a sudden, we see Omoi rushing. And then he says, "It's time to make you feel death!" He rushes at Sasuke. Sasuke's Susanoo is deactivated due to effects of the Mangekyo Sharingan. He punches Sasuke in the arm. Then, all of a sudden, Sasuke sees this. His Sharingan is not activated, but he is now caught in the genjutsu. They're fighting. It is a cliffhanger. But then, Sasuke, like Hashirama does, comes in with the cheapskate. Sasuke takes up... what could Sasuke take up? Sasuke takes up a rock. He throws it at Omoi's head. Omoi falls to his knees. And then Sasuke barely gets up. And he's bleeding. Omoi then gets back up. And then he says, "It's time to end this." The proctor then ends the fight, saying, "This is a tie." Everybody's mad. And all the other matches go the same. I really don't have time to explain that. But the Konoha Crush, it goes down different. No, there is no Konoha Crush. So, this is where I'll be ending off the video. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Disrespectful and okay. Winner one hell of a kid. Smoking gas, just winner. What you doing out of dick? Slick talker since a jet. Winner time all the time. Ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move. Swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude.